there. Hello. Welcome back to Old Man Spirituality channel. A light worker, a starseed, born in the 50s. Still kicking it better than ever before. Let's see. I'm doing this while I'm driving because where I'm going, I'm going to go out for a short hike, but it's so windy, it's just going to mess up the microphone. So I'm going to just do a quick talk before I get to the hiking trailhead. Today's a big day of change, and I honestly do not have any affiliation with any side of the forces that run things in this country or in the world. I am on God's side, straight and narrow, straight down from the heaven to the core of the earth. I am supporting what God is doing in the world. And everybody, underneath God, we're kind of puppets. We are kind of puppets and pawns, but we all do have free will and, decisions to make and things to do. But, I don't give the power of God I don't see political leaders as having the power of God. But the power of God can work through them. So my whole thing, ever and forever, is you got to pray for whoever these people are. You got to pray. You got to channel the holy energy of God down and send it to them as a blessing, whether you like them or not. And because they've taken on the responsibility of having to make things change in our country, in our world. So, taking sides and thinking one side is going to do something better than the other side is just really misled way to live your life, because it's going to create darkness, and that darkness is going to swallow you up when things don't go the way you want them to. You just got to be in the center and trust that God is in charge of everything that's happening. And the more we pray for the good of God to work through whoever is in charge, the better ability they're going to have to make right decisions. So even though, whoever is in charge doesn't think the same way that you do, or you think he's an enemy or she's an enemy, and you just got to accept it, that this is what we have to work with. So that's my position. And whoever is in office and whatever decisions they make, the world is going to change on its own around them without their permission, and there's stuff that's got to break down. There's some old systems at play in the world that have to break down and change, and it's been happening already, but we're going to continue to see it happen more. And the only way to be safe is to be aligned with God, to have a holy relationship with whatever you think God is, and chill your own mind out and just become in sync with the holy love of the holy, I was going to say the love of God, but love of holiness. I don't know. There's so many different ways to talk about it, but however you get aligned with the guidance, the inner guidance that you have for your own life, that's what works best. Okay, anyway, I'd already talked nearly 5 minutes about that. Back on topic with me. I'm 5 days into, let's see, or is it 6? Today's the 6th day of NaNoWriMo. I lost steam a little bit the other night, and I thought I'm not gonna be able to pick this up But I prayed, and I meditated, and I got back into the flow, and I wrote. What I wrote last night was probably the most crucial bit of the story that I've shared yet, and I feel excited again. So yeah, at the beginning of yesterday I wasn't so excited. I thought I had lost the mojo, but the mojo came back. So meditating and praying, being quiet, listening, let the force of God work through you, move through you. That's the way to get stuff done. So I'm gonna go out here and have a little hike. I think that's all I gotta say. Can I say anything else? Is there anything else to say? Just seek God. Seek God. And if you're confused about what God is or who God is, or if you've got outdated mentality about, God is a religious thing, it's not. You got to find a way that you can interact with and relate with the God force. And like my experience anymore is really stripped of any religious stature or teaching. But it was through the practice of religion that I got my connection. And now I'm like a free agent, and I'm just like God charged. I'm God driven. and I surrender a little bit more of my ego and my selfish desires to God each day. And that's how I hope it'll keep going. I'll keep becoming more and more and more God-filled until there's nothing to see. When you look at me, you won't see anything. You'll go, oh my God, that's a representation of God there. Do I look like that? Can I look like that? You can, and you do. No matter what level of understanding and achievement that you're at, you are God, man. You are God dressed up in your body. And yep, we're here for good times. We're here for good times. Okay, I'm almost there. I'm just going to go ahead and stop this because I'm not really saying. I said a little bit personal, and the rest of it was kind of philosophical. And just hang in there. Just hang in there. Hang in there and pray. Pray, pray, pray. If you're confused, ask for clarity. What you ask for, you will be given, but you need to become quiet to hear the voice of God speak to you. So I do stress, there's a lot of teachers going around saying meditation is not important anymore, and I totally disagree with that. If I didn't meditate, I would not know anything that I know now. I would not be as guided or driven if I didn't meditate. And so take the time to sit down and learn how to meditate. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. It's not that hard to do, and there's a lot of teachers online that can teach you how to do it. Okay, I'm going to stop. Here we are. Bye. Hey, so I'm going to just make a quick addendum to my opening monologue. I couldn't do it earlier because I was out in the fields and it was too windy. In here it's not so windy. In here it's actually really quiet. And people come through here, so I gotta do this quick before I get interrupted. Okay, let's get back into this stream of thought that I had. The greatest political leader in the world is you. You and me, every single individual is the greatest political leader that exists, because we all have the power as individuals to change the world, to make it into what we want it to be. But it starts small. It starts with making changes within yourself. Make yourself that complete, whole, happy person. And then you can look out to the world. and you can look at your city, your street you live on. And I'm reminded of this guy in Oakland who got tired of seeing all of the garbage dumped on street corners in the poorer parts of town. And this guy has a full-time job. On his weekends, he goes out, he buys his own garbage bags and boxes or whatever, and he picks up all this garbage. Nobody said, hey, you should do that. He said, I should do that. And there's other people doing it. And he's making Oakland a more beautiful place because of the love in his heart for his city. So take that and think about that a little bit and see where you can have that carry you to. But it all starts here and here. It starts here first, really. You have to have the heart. You have to heal your heart. And then you can get clarity and vision of what to do. But it's all about love. You gotta love yourself, and you gotta love the world. And boy, I just inspired myself with that talk. Okay, that's it. Ciao. Okay, one last addendum, because I never talk in perfect examples. So that guy that I mentioned that lives in Oakland, and he goes around on the weekends cleaning up the garbage piles that are on street corners and on side streets and stuff that the city is not cleaning up, and no other organization is doing it. This guy goes out by himself. Okay, here's my point on this, because this is what I'm guilty of. He didn't sit around waiting to find somebody else to go do it with him. This is a big lesson for me, because I say this to people all the time. I say, man, I would do this if I had somebody to do it with. We can't make excuses. We got to stop making excuses. I need to stop making excuses. That guy went out there by himself weekend after weekend for months, and he made a dent in how much better the city looks now. So there, I'm taking home a lesson to myself to think about what, how I can start to apply that attitude and that self-understanding. We are enough on our own. We just need to start with baby steps. If you're thinking of a project and you think, oh, I need somebody else to help me do this, trim it back. Cut it down. Make it smaller. Make it small enough so that you can do it on your own. Man, where the heck did that come from? I'm so glad I grabbed the phone and decided to add one more addendum. Okay, I definitely got something to contemplate now. I hope you do too. All right, cheerio. Cheerio.